Hey coin collectors, and welcome to another joint video between the Big D coin channel and the DC Coin World coin channel. And this is DC from DC Coin World, and we have a video today entitled 5 Buffalo, a Bear, and a Beaver. You can't see the beaver yet, we'll bring it in later. And as you know, probably all of you know, the beaver isn't actually from the United States, and it's not a United States coin, but we're bringing it in anyway. So what do we got here? Well, we have all these different buffaloes on coins, and then we have a bear. Well, let's start with the earliest one, and that's, of course, right here, the buffalo nickel, or the Indian head nickel. And this, they started making this, well, they started making this particular version in 1913 and made it until 1938. It says United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum, right behind the hump of the buffalo, 5 cents on the bottom. And this is a buffalo, even though you can't hardly tell. You see it as a smooth edge coin, and then you can't really see anything on the front except Liberty there. And a pretty nice profile of this amalgam, I guess you could call it, of 3 different Indian chiefs that was on this coin. And this is where the date would be if there was a date. So that's our first buffalo coin right there. Probably in the 20s, I would guess, but I don't really know exactly when it was from. Our next buffalo coin, in terms of historically, would be this coin here from Kansas. Now, many of you don't think of Kansas, at least modern day Kansas, as a place where the buffalo roam. Most of you think of Kansas as being where Dorothy is from, of course, from The Wizard of Oz. This is the state quarter, Kansas state quarters. Kansas came into the Union in 1861. That's what the 1861 is here. We see some prairie flowers. We see the buffalo or bison. It says 2005 E pluribus unum, and of course you know the front of this is a copper nickel clad copper. Here we can see that. And then the front of this is the revised edition or second portrait of the Washington quarter with the 2 sets of initials down here. Let's see if we can maximize them just a little bit. And Mr. Manna and Mr. Flanagan down here. It says, in God we trust, behind Washington. Washington's facing to the left, United States of America. Above him, Liberty, and then $quarter here. And you see this is a D for the Denver Mint. We didn't see any kind of mint on the, of course, on the, there's no mint on there that we can find. It would be down here, I believe. I actually honestly don't know. The next one in time after the 2005 Kansas is the North Dakota. So this is North Dakota, 1889. So Kansas got to put their buffalo on first because they came into the Union in 1861. North Dakota in 1889, and here's the buffalo, 2006. E pluribus unum, and I can tell you that this looks a little bit like the Badlands. And when we were in the Badlands, we saw plenty of buffalo in the road, in the woods, on the trails, and plenty of buffalo poop, I could say, in the Badlands National Park. They are huge creatures, and when they're on the road with you, it's a little bit scary. So that's our, actually we can say North Dakota has 2 buffalo on it, so we should have counted that one. So we're up to 6 buffalo now. United States of America, this is of course the Philadelphia Mint. So that's the 2006 North Dakota coin. Next up we come, I guess this one's the next one in historical order. The United States of America. Here's the buffalo. This is one of the Lewis and Clark nickels. The E pluribus unum, 5 cents. And it's the second version of the Jefferson nickel. He's facing to the right. It says, in God we trust, in front of him. Liberty near his lips. D for Denver, 2005. Actually, it's this comes in between the two. So this is the same year as Kansas and the year before North Dakota. So that's the westward expansion nickel, or I call them the Lewis and Clark nickels. Then we have Of course, one that we saw just recently, and that is the Yellowstone one. And here's Old Faithful. It says Wyoming here. E Pluribus Unum here, 2010. And this is one of the America the Beautiful quarters. And this is a beautiful quarter. And again, we get to the front and we see there's a D for Denver. And finally, after all of those buffalo, we throw in the bear from Alaska. No buffalo in Alaska that I'm ever aware of. I did see these things that look almost like woolly mammoths or something, but they aren't buffalo. And there's these long, hairy creatures that are up there. All right, Alaska, 1959, it came into the Union. The Great Land, it says, by the bear. This is the one that has the extra claw as an error coin. So always look for the extra claw when you look for the six claws when you look for the bear. None on this one. We see the fish or salmon here, 2080 Pluribus Unum, and that's our another Philadelphia mint coin. And I promised you a beaver, and one of the reasons I promised you a beaver is because I want to throw a Canadian coin in here. This is an old one, beaver actually chewing on a log. But what happens, it turns out I watched a National Public Television special, and beavers actually create both the water source and the grasses for the buffalo in the West. So the beaver is actually fundamental for buffalo survival and many other animals' survival in the West, simply because they dam up streams, they create lakes, they create grasslands just from their dams, and they create a water source also. So beavers are very important in the plains, in mountain states for, especially the arid mountain states for, the dry mountain states for creating water. And then some people say I should put in Wisconsin, but you know Wisconsin, that's a cow. That's not in any way a bison. And we're not putting in Texas either, even though Texas has the Longhorns from the Longhorn State. So there we are. We have our pile. We have essentially, now that we can double count the North Dakota, we have 6 buffalo, a bear, where's our bear, and a beaver. Have a great day from DC Coin World and Big D Coin Channel. And we'd love to have you subscribe to our channels and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.